I like this guy's channel a lot, Patrick CC. Um, he makes really cool like video essays, and like he's nothing to do with skating, but he has talked about Bam and Sheckler and like mainstreamy people before. But here he's talking about Tosh.0 versus Ridiculousness, aka Rob Dyrdek, aka early 2000s pro skater. So I thought this would be very interesting. It's kind of saying the beef between their two shows. But you know, Ridiculousness is Rob Dyrdek, and he has the skate origin. So I thought maybe we can see how this comes out. But if this is too far removed from skating, maybe we'll give up. But yeah, I like this guy's channel a lot.
What started out as a friendly competition over two similar TV shows escalated quickly when Rob Dyrdek threatened Daniel Tosh. Then again, Tosh joking about Rob
Tosh is going down after P joke.
Being a PDF file was potentially taking things too far.
You want me to apologize? For what? You being a bitch?
The Ridiculousness vs. Tosh.0 beef was surprising because both of these guys are generally well liked, but their polar opposite motivations for creating a comedy.
I don't know anything about the Tosh.0 guy other than he has this show. And Tosh.0, basically both the show is like America's Funniest Home Videos, just viral fails or whatever is what the show is like built upon. From what I understand, the format is like basically the exact same. I can't say that I watched a lot of Tosh.0, but I don't know anything about him. And like, obviously I know a lot about Rob, that he, you know, he's pro skater, he founded Street League, he sold Street League, then he got on this whole MTV kick with a bunch of shows, which ended up in him hosting this. Tosh has a great podcast. Yeah, but what is his origin there?
The clip show was the perfect recipe for disaster. Rob once said, "I try to seize every opportunity I can. I've already filled my bucket list many times over. Business is my passion." Rob's life has been seemingly a never-ending stairway to success, becoming a professional skateboarder.
Yeah, front nose!
Startingly a never-ending stairway to success, becoming a professional skateboarder as a teenager, starting his own skateboard accessory company, designing a shoe that generated him $300,000 per year in royalties, founding a hip-hop record label, doing magazine covers, wearing iced-out Rolexes, teaming up with his security
Do we like this DC ring?
hip-hop record label, doing magazine covers, wearing ice.
To me, it's so lame. It's so lame. Oh my god. Should I make some I like skate bling bling? I don't know. Drumburger said his origin was probably Tosh 1.0. That is a good point, Drumburgers.
Out Rolexes, teaming up with his security guard to produce and act in Robin Big, an MTV reality show that stole the hearts of millions of fans around the world, only to follow that up with another banger of a show called Fantasy Factory, which was literally a show about him pursuing new business ventures while messing around with his friends. He even became a stuntman, jumping a speeding car backwards, barrel rolling a Chevy Sonic, and getting mauled by a tiger. Rob documented
I never seen that.
His exhilarating life, elevating his public persona while leveraging his celebrity status to secure a multi-million-dollar fortune. Daniel Tosh, on the other hand, once said, "Stand-up is the only thing I have ever been good at, and even that depends on who you ask." While Rob was steamrolling through life, accomplishing everything his heart desired, Daniel Tosh was merely focused on one thing: building a comedic legacy.
I waste so much time in my life. I could have accomplished so much more, but I have no dreams, like real dreams. I sit at home thinking about, how come nobody with a Lamborghini ever pulls up next to me and is like, "Hey man, you want this car?" I'm like, yeah, I do. Yes! I got a Lamborghini today.
Tosh got his start.
I mean, not that I watch Tosh.0 very often, but like I never felt like he was that funny of a dude. I always felt like he was kind of weird. Like, see, even then his presentation was like weird. Like, I am weird comedian, you know?
Hosting a show called Tens for a local television station called Miami in Miami, Florida, where Daniel would interview and mock the best-looking guys and girls on South Beach. He moved to Los Angeles in the late 90s and performed short stand-up sets in comedy clubs to slowly build his reputation. In 2001, he got a spot on The Late Show with David Letterman, which helped him become a recognizable face in the comedy scene.
You think it's trendy for young kids in Japan to get tattoos of words written in English?
With that momentum, he was able to book comedy shows around the country, with a majority of those being held at universities. From there, he launched his first special in 2003 on Comedy Central.
That's a game I used to play as a child. The floor is locked.
But I mean, like, to get a Comedy Central like special, that you must be pretty established, right?
That's when you'd climb on all the furniture in your house and you couldn't touch the floor. Yeah, you might have called it something completely different, but it meant the same thing. You were poor. Yeah, because I remember going, Mom, I would like a Nintendo. And she's like, the floor's lava. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with our house? Why can't we afford carpet? It's called 2 jobs, bitch.
Tosh simply focused on mastering his craft for years, working on material to gear up for the release of his second Comedy Central special, Completely Serious.
I was watching the country music channel the other day and I
Come on, hit me with a good joke.
woke up racist.
As we entered 2008, YouTube and Facebook were slowly taking over pop culture, with random hilarious videos going viral every day. Comedy Central brainstormed an idea for a comedy clips show, and Tosh was a master of short, punchy jokes. Combine that with a fearless approach to controversial topics, an immense cult-like following of college kids, and devilish good looks, Comedy Central knew he was their star.
Devilish good looks? Is that how we describe him? I mean, I don't know, but is that how? I feel like Rob is more attractive, right? I don't know.
Tosh.0 debuted in the summer.
I feel like Rob has more star power. Rob Dyrdek has more star power. He seems, maybe he's more relatable. Like weird ass comedian, whereas Rob is more like, I'm a star.
2009 and focused on showcasing viral internet videos, memes, social media content, and trending topics, accompanied by Tosh's satirical commentary and often controversial humor.
So I came up with a list of brand new terms that have absolutely no racial connotation whatsoever. I field tested them with an extremely diverse focus group. Sugar taster.
That's a little offensive.
What do you think sugar taster means?
I don't know. I don't know why you think that he tastes sugar.
Why do you keep pointing to the black person?
That's what I
Well,
want.
They?
The concept of this show is not really original. Before Tosh, you had The Soup, hosted by Joel McHale, Web Junk, hosted by Patrice O'Neal.
I mean, before this, it was America's Funniest Home Videos, Australia's Funniest Home Videos. That was the original viral, ah ha ha, they fell down. That was the original. Then just everyone's just been spinning it off. And then since the internet became popular, it was easier to find the more viral stuff.
And even YouTuber Ray William Johnson laid the foundation for Equals 3 slightly before Tosh. Now, most clip shows rely on the clips themselves to produce the humor, almost removing the need for a host in the first place. And while Tosh did find good content that is funny, shocking, or absurd on its own, more often than not, it was his jokes and commentary that actually made the clips funnier.
Seems you guys finally pushed the foremost authority on style past his breaking point.
This video is for all you stupid f***ing trolls and haters online, saying mean and hurtful things about fedoras.
You're not the only cool guy whose hat game has been mocked.
You wish you could pull off a cloche. You imbeciles know nothing of this hat.
But what made Tosh.0 stand out from all the rest was the iconic web redemption segment he would do at the end of every episode. Tosh would invite one of the individuals who became viral for
Damn, okay, now we're cooking. Absolutely.
embarrassing or cringeworthy moments on the show for a chance to redeem themselves.
Hell
He would
yeah.
interview them with his signature sarcastic humor and allow them to share
this like
more
meant to be like a
details
Dr.
behind
Phil
the viral
thing?
clip.
But that, now we got a solid format. Kid goes viral and bring the kid on, hell yeah.
Then finalizing the bit with a reenactment of their viral moment with an absurd or
Okay,
comedic
that's
twist.
actually
He brought
high
on
quality.
classic internet stars like Welvin D's Nuts to Great.
You know Malone, right?
Carl?
No, Malone.
No, what's Malone?
Malone.
Oh, you long. I got it.
He also brought on pretty much every iconic local news viral sensation. Sweet Brown, the I Like Turtles kid, and Antoine Dodson.
What do you want people to know about you?
They know I'm openly gay. That's mainly what I want to get out. I don't give.
That you're gay? I think people knew that about 1 second into your video.
No.
And even though this was just a clip show, clearly sketch comedy was where Daniel Tosh thrived. The first season of Tosh.0 was a surprise hit and averaged more than 1
nunchuck
million
guy?
viewers
Yes,
per
I remember him.
episode. But then it got even bigger. The second season averaged nearly 2 million total viewers and was the most watched show in its time slot among men 18 to 24 and men 18 to 34. Tosh.0 was absolutely taking over. Little did he know he had some competition on the horizon.
Oh, but see, maybe I didn't really watch Ridiculousness enough either. Did Rob do stuff like that? Maybe like a tiny bit? He didn't do any like crazy segments. I thought it was just mainly just reacting to the vids.
Rob Dyrdek, who was equally loved, was about to launch Ridiculousness, a show that was suspiciously similar to Tosh.0. Even though Ridiculousness premiered 2 years after Tosh.0, Rob claims he actually came up with the idea 4 years prior and even sold it to MTV.
Now they'll always do both of them at the same time. So I actually sold them both at the exact same time.
They bought 2 shows from you at one time.
Because originally I read the article like in 2007 of Vinny DiBona's $500 million global syndication of America's Funniest Home Videos, and was like, man, like I need to make that. I should just make the cool version of America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah, of course. It's like tried and true. Like Funny Slam does all the heavy lifting, and you just go, haha, yeah, you suck, haha.
While Tosh.0 was optimized to make people laugh, Ridiculousness was optimized to make money. In 2008 and 2009, Rob spent most of his days filming episodes for Fantasy Factory, and they just took a lot of time. Planning extravagant stunts like jumping a speeding car backwards would take months of planning and preparation. Now, MTV was paying him $125,000 per episode, so a little more effort was worth it, but they only offered to pay him $30,000 per episode for Ridiculousness. So from a business perspective, he wanted to spend as little time working on that show to maximize his revenue.
Just such a nightmare, and I'd be there all day, to where now I shoot 8 of them in under 5 hours, right? So
yeah, I've seen him talking about this, that he can film like 500 episodes in like 2 weeks or some shit, and then he's done for fucking 2 years. I've seen him say crazy stuff, because now I think like it got to a point where first he was just the star of the show, and then it switched into like his production company was producing the show, and then basically like whatever happened, that he owned more and more of the like IP and stuff, and then he would be like, all right, I am in charge of the whole operation. I'll structure it in a way that I can just boom, 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 bang these out, and then it's done.
It's a much more highly optimized, efficient machine. And then for me, it takes very little energy and time to execute it. And it's sort of brand neutral. A lot of people don't even know if I still film them. You know what I mean? They don't even realize I shoot 336 brand new ones every single year, you know.
However, many critics believe that this business model negatively impacts the quality of the show. Ridiculousness is about as basic of a clip show as it gets. Rob hosts alongside Sterling Stilo Brim and Chanel West Coast. They play viral internet videos, often featuring people's outrageous, embarrassing, or downright bizarre antics grouped together in themed segments.
You can get too much air, right? And as someone that
yeah, I think it's still going.
Flying through the air.
He switched. It's interesting. He used to wear DC and like other logos, and then he switched to this, whatever this brand is. It's like his Dream Machine or whatever it's called, Mean Machine thing, and like no more logos. So then, like if anything happens, he just always looks the same.
There's occasionally you push it too far and you get broken. Yeah. Just like everybody in this category, TMA, too much air.
Too much air. Oh no, bro. Oh no. Oh.
That's some rough water to land in.
Man, it's just rough.
That's some rough water.
What are you doing? Like about right here, it's time to bail out. It really okay. You gotta let go. Why are you this high in the air? Man, and you were about to start going down. You bailed at the wrong time.
There is no
His outfit changes take the most time when filming.
Very little rehearsal.
Darkslide_everything gifted 1 subs.
Yo, thank you, Darkslide everything. Appreciate you being here today. Thanks so much for the gifted sub.
Rob essentially goes on set, does a sort of freestyle reaction to whatever he is watching, which usually results in him just laughing or highlighting exactly what the viewer just saw.
What's up, though?
Oh, she hit him in the nuts. Ha ha ha. He's gonna be hurting tomorrow.
She don't want no siblings. Man, not only that, but he can't even get up to punish her. She says, ah.
Occasionally, Rob will invite a celebrity guest on who also tends to give a basic, raw reaction to the content. Howie Mandel recalled his experience being on the show.
So I went in, I walked right onto the set. They said roll. I was out of there.
He watched the internet,
half-hour show? Is it? I think I was out of there in 40 minutes.
Season 1, Episode 1 of Ridiculousness aired on August 29th, 2011 and started off hot, averaging about 2 million viewers per episode. That made it extremely competitive with Tosh.0's viewership, so he decided to say something. Tosh tweeted,
"Have I seen Scarred? Yes, I used to love Scarred as a kid. Should we watch Scarred sometime? Probably not Twitch friendly. Scarred was just a similar show like this, except they get badly hurt and then they like interview the people that got hurt. I feel like it was maybe too glorifying. Like that was like peak early 2000s, where it's like action sports, yeah, take risks, yeah. Maybe it's like a cultural shift now a little bit more.
Congrats, Rob Dyrdek. New show looks very funny and familiar. Dyrdek fired back. Thank you so much, Daniel Tosh. Maybe later this week, you, Bob Saget, and Tom Bergeron can come down to my factory and play. This sarcastic back and forth between the two seemed fun. Thank you so much, Dan Dyrdek.
New show looks funny and familiar. Okay, so Daniel Tosh is baiting Rob Dyrdek, saying like, your show is trash.
It's very funny and familiar. Dyrdek fired back. Thank you so much, Daniel Tosh. Maybe later this week, you, Bob Saget, and Tom Bergeron can come down to my factory.
I don't know who these people are. Is this the host of America's Funniest Home Videos?
This sarcastic back and forth between the two seemed harmless, but secretly, Tosh was plotting his revenge on Rob. Shortly after their online exchange, Tosh.0 dedicated an entire web redemption segment to trolling Rob. Tosh interviews his guest, who was a skateboarder that was struck by a vehicle in his viral video, only to find out that they are conducting the interview in Tony Hawk's pool.
Got to. You got to get back up on that rail.
Hey, you kids, how many damn times I gotta tell you to quit drinking in the pool? Now fill it
Damn, that's actually kind of sick.
You always been this cranky old man Hawk?
You kids are wasting your lives. No one's ever made a living riding a skateboard. Now get! Suck it!
Tosh bringing Tony Hawk into a sketch dissing Rob Dyrdek is Drake-level pettiness. Anyways, Tosh brings his guests to a skate park inside of a warehouse called Daniel's Childish Dreams Factory for Young Boys Only.
Damn, this is
which
fire
is literally
beef.
the exact same building as Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory, but with the sign covered. Tosh is dressed exactly like Rob, wearing a zip-up hoodie, a flat brim hat cocked sideways, while holding two puppies.
Welcome to my Childish Dream Factory for Young Boys Only.
It's a lot like the Fantasy Factory.
No, it doesn't. This is my own original idea that I had years ago before he did.
Damn.
I'm busy with other projects to see it through. This place is awesome.
I guess in the Fantasy Factory, I think they would blur shit out a lot because like they only want to have their brands showing. I think that's what's going on here.
Everything you could ever want if the only thing you ever wanted was to hang out with 12-year-old shirtless boys.
Throughout the sketch, Tosh acts like a creep towards the little boys, even offering them a suspicious beverage with pills in it. At the end, the skateboarder crashes into Tosh's friend, Big Sack, a parody of Rob's best friend, Christopher Big Black Boykin. The sketch is hilarious, but Dyrdek didn't like the idea that his name was being joked about alongside
Dyrdek does not like that.
Belia. He tweeted, "The idea of having beef with Daniel Tosh is truly embarrassing. For real. Imagine that. Clip show host beef. But the beef
This is what Twitter looks like?
real." Followed by, "I am not a comedian or an actor. So unfortunately for Daniel Tosh, we are going to have to settle this the old-fashioned way.
What? See you soon?
See you soon." To which Tosh responded, "Fair enough, but if you have to beat me up, can we film it and put it on my show so people will actually watch it?" As if threatening physical violence against Tosh wasn't already the worst possible way to react to being hilariously trolled, Tosh absolutely demolished him with that response on Twitter. Rob did not fire back on Twitter, but he did seem a bit agitated.
Tosh feels like he just watched his show and then decided to do a video show because his show was successful, which is so absurd to me. If I did in fact look at that and be like, oh, I could do a version of that, which is just so ridiculousness. But I don't know. For whatever reason, he's really butthurt about it. And the idea, he's like a comedian who writes these skits around all the stuff. I just play videos and just get up there and freestyle. I'm not a comedian, so that's really what it stems from, and why he's response. So emotional about my show is beyond me. It's really insane.
He even suggested,
I mean, oh my god, Rob. It started because Tosh made a joke, like a sly comment saying like, hey, cool show. And then instead of Rob being a good spot, was straight away being weird about it. And then he made the funny skit. Rob's coming up terribly here. Who should Ricky beef with? Yeah. We need to start some beef.
About my
Look at his face as well. But yeah, you could tell like just the way Rob presents himself and like how you see him evolve from like skater to like what he is now, you could very much tell that he definitely doesn't like being publicly disrespected. That's like, you could probably do a lot to him, but you publicly disrespect him, he will not tolerate that. So I think this is pretty funny, because like a normal person would say, hey, that was actually funny, like hell yeah, like good funny jokes. But instead he's like so bummed.
Is beyond me. Like it's really insane.
He even suggested he might still be willing to throw hands.
He got out of pocket, and I got a little out of pocket via Twitter, which you don't do, because if you take something personal, you should probably handle it.
Yeah, I heard you said you're gonna beat him up.
I didn't
Rob,
say that.
you kind of did, dude.
I didn't say that. What we like to say is we're putting that behind us.
We're putting it behind us. So if you guys like run into each other, it'll be all good.
Yeah, who knows? You never know.
It seemed like
He can't even say yes. Yeah, Rob strikes me as the guy that will never just like swallow his pride or whatever. He'll be like, you insulted me, blah 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 blah.
So if you guys like run into each other, it'll be all good.
Yeah, who knows? You never know.
It seemed like most people were siding with Tosh, with one fan explaining, Tosh takes shots at everyone, just like South Park does. It's comedy and poking fun at each other. It's part of it. This is not a controversy or beef. It's a comedy skit. Rob's the one who is butthurt. Tosh has never said anything about his feud with Dyrdek after this controversy. However, we do know that he's not one to apologize.
You want me to apologize? For what? You being a bitch?
We recently got insight that he and his team felt some level of disdain towards Dyrdek and Ridiculousness, when YouTuber Roman Atwood recalled a story of the Tosh.0 team trying to purchase one of his viral clips.
Tosh.0 was calling, and all these shows were calling that I was like, oh my god, like I've never seen anything like this. You guys were in season 1, I believe. Even sooner than
we call for the video?
Yeah, but what happened was Tosh.0, Tosh wanted it, and they said, this is his true story. He said, yeah, Ridiculous is never going to make it past season 1.
Tosh.0's team could not have been more wrong. Even through the rise of social media and decline of traditional cable TV, Ridiculousness remained a dominant show. Even though the viewership declined during episode premieres, they would air the show anytime, any day, and people would not change the channel. It's easily digestible content. There is no storyline you have to follow, so it doesn't matter what season or episode you're watching. Even if it's 2 a.m. and you don't have any brain capacity to focus, you can still watch it. Hell, you could probably watch
second monitor content, as they call it. It's like if you work at a cafe or whatever, you just have this on the TV. You don't want to watch like an actual show. You just want to have just brain rot on. It's like original brain rot. Yeah, original brain rot, exactly. Like
muted,
TikTok.
and it still might be engaging. Around 2018, Ridiculousness occupied...
Yeah, I remember seeing this being like, what the hell? This is what MTV's schedule is now? Like, it's literally just this. Catfish, the TV show. Grown Ups 2. Karate Kid! What terrible programming. Jesus.
About 60% of the network's time
Fresh
slots,
out live.
sometimes airing for multiple days straight with
That's
no breaks.
insane. How
to
can that be
celebrate
real?
MTV's 40th anniversary, which does stand for music television, by the way, they aired Ridiculousness for 24 hours straight. Ridiculousness has produced 42 seasons.
That is
having
ridiculous.
Over 1,000 episodes, and
Yes.
likely has hundreds, maybe thousands of more episodes to come. The production company Rob Dyrdek built that produced Ridiculousness, called Super Jacket, he sold to Thrill One
this is
Sports
what he
and
was talking
Entertainment
about.
for $190.
So when he sold the production company, I believe SLS was part of this sale to Thrill One, because Thrill One is who recently sold SLS to Dana White or whatever.
Business called Super Jacket. He sold to Thrill One Sports and Entertainment for $190 million.
You know what I mean? Like I just go and
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that included Street League. I think his production company was doing Street League and the Ridiculousness, I think.
like freestyle the I'm like it for 30 minutes and it's like, oh, you just did a flawless show. You just made everything up. You know what I mean? It's like it's really just sort of this fun, fast-paced experience, but make no mistake. Make no mistake. It is only for the money.
Tosh.0, on the other hand, was canceled by Comedy Central in 2020, but still it thrived for 12 seasons spanning over a decade during the downfall of cable. It's even more impressive that Tosh basically did everything he could to stay anonymous. Tosh rarely had celebrity guests. He hired a team to run his social media for him. He never did interviews. He never did any box office hit movies. He never did major brand sponsorships. He never collaborated on tours with other comedians. He never jumped on podcasts. He never did a roast. All he did was focus on making the best show possible and ultimately letting his comedy speak for itself. And he
it's interesting is like he showed way more personality and he put in more effort, and in the short term it worked, but then it died out when he died out. Rob Dyrdek made this like super generic faceless YouTube channel effectively, where he's just like this ghost in the machine that presents the viral videos, and like, yeah, it didn't do good at the very start, but then it's just been steady, like it's just churns on and lives forever. Whereas his personality, like, it's stronger in the moment and then it dies off. It's kind of interesting.
Damn good run. It's unlikely that these two men still hold any animosity towards each other. Rob admitted he overreacted, and it's clear that Tosh was just trolling. Just because Rob made a clip show designed for profit doesn't make him a bad guy, especially considering how brutally honest he is about it. Rob Dyrdek gave his fans high quality, amazing content for years via Robin Big and Fantasy Factory, so he is well deserving of his success. Tosh is hilarious, and was hilarious until the very end of his show, and him being a great comedian was all
Does
his
he do
fans
anything
ever wanted
now?
from him. So in the end, they both won.
Yeah, very interesting. Like, I do really like this guy's videos, so shout out to Patrick CC. But what's interesting now is if you watch Rob Dyrdek's like podcast or whatever the heck he does now, Mike was saying earlier, he's like so far away from relatable. Like, I've seen crazy quotes on this. I've seen him saying like, if I don't get my coffee beans from this region, like I can't get up in the morning, blah blah. He just says like literally crazy stuff.
I never saved any money. All the way up to 40. I never saved any money. All the way up to 40. Millions, made millions, spent millions. Highly successful, highly successful millionaire who had made millions and spent millions in the age-old cycle of the poor. The age-old cycle of the poor. It doesn't matter if
I mean, yeah, like
this.
There's some where he's just like, he sits in like, I don't even know if he's doing an interview. Look at these videos. Wait, they're actually doing better now? I would see that some of them will get like 5K and shit. Like, yeah, like 8K. I mean, these are doing better, 20K, 10K. But he would just like, sometimes isn't even a guest, and he's just like freestyling, just talking random stuff.
Of limited time and energy, you are always and forever going to be driving things to energy neutral. There's going to be so many aspects of your life that
what is he even saying already?
Push towards a subconscious, effortless state of taking no energy. And the problem is, a lot of those things are going to be bad habits and things that are not good for you. You've got to understand.
It's a lot of this type of talk. Like, he's saying many words, many things, but then it's like, what is he even saying?
That systems and automation are built to control and help your energy to push you towards energy neutral, because that's really what systems and automation is all about.
But anyway, yeah, he like, it's sad too. He'll say things like, I was the highest paid pro skater per trick. He's like, in my career of 20 years, I barely did any tricks. Ha ha ha. Yeah, take that, skating. Ha ha. He like, I don't know. He's so like, I don't know. I feel like he's like not like disrespectful to his origin, but just like, I don't know. He'll say like crazy stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to Tosh. Honestly, watching that video, my respect for Tosh went way up. I had no knowledge of him. I just thought he was a random comedian. But, you know, through that, it's like, yeah, Tosh was sick and Rob was a little wild and word salad. Yes, exactly.